Hi and welcome back to my channel. I was just watching a YouTube video and was tagged in by Rebecca, who is a vegetarian slimming worlder, to do the 10 Christmas question tags. Now, we don't have the 10 questions and I've just finished watching the video. I don't think Rebecca put them in the down bar, so what I'm going to do is go from memory. I think I've remembered 9 of the questions, so this may well be a 9 Christmas questions tag. Haven't prepared at all, so I'm just going to answer it off the cuff. Okay, Joe, let's go for it.
Will you be on plan for Christmas?
Yes. I think Christmas, most people refer to as Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. I will be on plan. The only meal I will flexi-sim will be my lunch on Christmas Day, and that's no big deal. It's one meal out of 21 in the week, and I'm really comfortable with doing that. So basically, I would call that being on plan for Christmas for me. Yeah.
Brussels sprouts, yes or no?
Yes, love them. Brussels sprouts are not something we only eat at Christmas. We eat them wherever they're in season or wherever we can get them from Abel and Cole or in our local supermarkets. And Joe does a really good frittata with shredded Brussels sprouts and other vegetables in. It's gorgeous. So yeah, definitely a Brussels sprout girl. As a child I never was, because my mum used to boil them for 20 minutes. Disgusting. Bless her. But yeah, I like them just steamed until they're still quite firm. So I'm definitely a Brussels sprout person. Yeah.
What would be your alternative to a Christmas roast?
Well, we don't do turkey because there's 3 of us for lunch on Christmas Day and none of us are that bothered about turkey. And we don't want a massive amount of meat or poultry left over. So I think on Christmas Day this year, Joe and his dad will be having pheasant because that's what Joe likes and he likes to cook it. And I'm going to have fillet steak. And I think fillet steak with, I'll probably still have pigs in blankets and I'll still have the stuffing. But my alternate to a roast would be a fillet steak or anything really, because turkey is just dull and boring for me. So yeah, there are a lot of choices out there for people who cook Slimming World meals, but I don't do Slimming World recipes, so it's not a biggie. Okay, yeah, next one.
On plan dessert?
If I was going to be looking at needing a low sin dessert and I have to have something like fruit and quark and I don't know what people put in that sweetener and stuff like that, I'd rather go without. That's not my kind of food. I wouldn't enjoy finishing a meal with anything like that. I'm not really the dessert person. I'm more of a savoury person. I have got for Christmas Day, if I choose to eat it, if I'm not too full, I've got gluten-free syrup, sponge and custard. That doesn't mean I'll eat it. It depends how I feel when I've had my main meal and my starter. I'm having watermelon gazpacho as a starter, followed by my main meal, and there'll be a lot of veg. So I may well not have a dessert. It's not the most important part of my meal. However, if I wanted an on-plan dessert, personally I'd opt for cheese and biscuits, because I could use a B choice for the biscuits and an A choice for the cheese, and I love cheese and biscuits. So that would be my ideal on-plan dessert.
Okay, favourite Christmas film?
Do you know what? I don't have one. I'm not a film person. I don't know whether this is about being blind or being easily bored. I don't really do films. I think I'm possibly the only person on here who has never seen Home Alone 1, let alone 2 or any of the others. Doesn't interest me. And as a lot of the really nice children's Christmas films are animated, then as a blind person it just doesn't work. We went to see at the theatre last Christmas, I think it was, The Snowman, didn't we, Joe?
Yeah.
We left at half time because I was so bored, and we paid quite a lot of money for the tickets. But I was bored and Joe sat next to a man who really smelled. So we decided between us we were better going home. So yeah, I've got a very low boredom threshold for things that are visual. So Christmas films and me just don't mix. Yeah?
Favourite Christmas song?
Oh, that's easy. Driving Home for Christmas by Chris Rea, who is one of my favourite singers. He's from the Northeast and he's amazing. And this song just speaks to me about all the years, before we stopped having family Christmases with like parents or in-laws and people like that. We were always driving home for Christmas. So we were either driving to my parents' home, or we were driving to my husband's parents' home, or, we were driving somewhere. And it's just a song that speaks to me of years gone by and people who are no longer with us. I mean, my mum's still with us, and Joe and I went and had a Christmas day with her yesterday. So I'm still driving home for Christmas at the age of 61, and that song just means a lot to me.
This one's kind of similar to a few questions ago, but Low Sin Christmas Tree.
Oh, that's chocolate. I think that's kind of meant to be a low sin sweetie or chocolate treat.
Yeah.
Low sin. If I was looking for a chocolate treat over Christmas, for me, I think it would be a walnut whip. I think they're 7.5 sins, depending on whose you buy. That's something I really like. The nut on the top, the creamy stuff in the middle, and chocolate. So yeah, or my favourite chocolate shop, which is Chocolate Utopia in Nottingham, you can actually buy individual chocolates in there. So you can just go in and buy a couple of chocolates, and they average about like 90p a pound each. And what's the one I love? Milk chocolate truffle. A couple of those, I think they're 4 sins each. That would be my low sin chocolate treat for Christmas. Anything else?
Bread sauce, yes or no?
I love bread sauce, but it doesn't really go with what I'm planning to eat on Christmas Day. And as I'm the only one who really loves bread sauce, it's hardly worth making it for one person. Because the problem is, I like cold bread sauce too. So if there was any left over, I'd be wanting to go back into the kitchen to get the cold pigs in blankets and the cold roast potatoes and the cold bread sauce. That's what I used to do years ago. It's better not to have it now, because although you could sin it, I think it would be pretty difficult to like quantify how many sins were in a couple of tablespoons of bread sauce. So I don't think I'll bother this year.
And favourite low sin drink?
Favourite low sin drink? I'm not a drinker of alcohol. I don't need alcohol to have a good time anymore. I used to. And I think for me, coffee. I'm just a coffee drinker. Yeah, I love champagne. I don't think champagne is particularly high sin, but who wants one glass? And the bottle would be too much. And as I don't live with drinkers, it would be wasted. So yeah, I'm just a coffee drinker. I love my coffee. I wish I could remember what the 10th question was, but it just is not clicking in my mind. It probably will as soon as we stop videoing, but there you go. That was really thrown together. I had just watched Rebecca's video, not given this much thought at all, so responding off the cuff. But thanks for tagging me, Rebecca. That was really kind of you. And that's my offering. I thought it was wise to do it straight away because, let's face it, Christmas is upon us. And nobody would want to watch this video after Christmas. So thanks for watching, and we will be back tomorrow with an update on my week. Have a good one. Bye.
Merry Christmas.